Okay, so now we're going to get into multiplying decimals. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do is to draw the tic-tac-toe board. Okay, so we have talked about multiplying integers and stuff, so it's going to be helpful if you draw and fill in your tic-tac-toe board as we speak. Okay, so fill in your numbers, not your numbers, your signs. Sorry. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Okay, so once you fill that in, now we're going to go over the steps to multiplying decimals. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is pretty much ignore the decimals. Okay, so we're really ignoring the decimals, and we're just going to multiply like normal. Okay, so this first part, we're going to ignore the decimals. Okay, so let's ignore our decimals. We're going to multiply like normal. In step 2, this is when we figure out the decimals. So this is when we put the decimal places in. So then put decimal point in the problem. Okay. And so you may be thinking, but where do I put it? Okay, so if the original problem has 7 decimal places, you put it 7 numbers over. So it will have, so the problem or the answer will have as many decimal places as the original problem, or as the OG problem, as the original problem. And I know that doesn't really make sense now, but I'm going to explain it to you. So first, ignore the decimals, multiply like normal, then put your decimal places in. Okay, so let's look at this first example. All right, so we have 4.5 times 6.2. So again, I'm ignoring the decimals, and I'm just going to treat it as 45 times 62. Okay, so I'm going to multiply like normal. 2 times 5 is 10. Bring the 1 over. That's 8, 9. Plus sign, filler 0. 6 times 5 is 30. This becomes a 3. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 3 is 27. Add everything up. Okay, so we have 2790. So first thing we did was multiply normal. Now we're going to need to put the decimal point into the problem. So I'm just going to throw these back in the problem here. But we did 45 and 62. So we moved this decimal place, this first one, over once. So we moved it over once. We moved this one, this bottom one, from 6.2 to 62. We moved it over once. So that means in total, we moved twice. So it went over 2 decimal places. So what that means is that we need to, in our answer, move it once, twice, because originally we moved over twice. So we move over once, twice. So our answer is 2790. Okay, so I'm going to do another example. Okay, so let me just reiterate. This top, we moved over once. Second one, we moved over once. So in total, we moved over twice. So at the end, I moved over once, twice. Okay, so again, we multiply 32 times 75, because we're ignoring the decimal places at first. If it helps to put them there, but just kind of ignore them for now. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. Plus sign, filler 0. 7 times 2 is 14. 21, 22. Make sure now we add everything up. And that's 4, 2, 4. And so we have our decimal places here and here. This first one to move over once, twice. So I moved over twice. The second one I moved once, twice. So how many times in total did we move over? In total, we went over 4 times. So that means we're going to start at the end here, move it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So my answer is going to be 0.24, but I always put that 0. Okay, so my answer is 0.24. Okay. So I want you to try the next 4 examples. Okay. So I want you to do example 3, example 4, 5, and 6. I'm only going to put work for example 3 up, just to give you another basis. These bottom ones, just going to do answers. What's going to help you on this bottom row is the tic-tac-toe board, hence why I told you to draw it again, okay? So do these next 4 and check your answers. All right, so here's the work for example 3. We went over 3 the first time, over once the second time. So in total, we move over 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is 9.0732. Example 4 should be negative 13.86. 5, it's a negative times a negative, so it's a positive. So that's 10.455. Example 6, negative times negative. That one you had to move 4 decimal places. Okay, so just be really careful that you're counting the right number of decimal places. All right, that's on your homework.